One of the things that I get asked a lot is, uh, what do we do? And what are some of the things we do? And why we do what we do? And sometimes I'm asked to explain this to a lot of different age groups. Well, sometimes even grade schoolers and children who are in kindergarten. And so I feel like God gave me kind of an illustration of that is pretty simple, but so I'm going to share it with you because the Scripture says we come to Him as a little child, and sometimes it helps us to understand it a little bit better. So when I'm talking to children, I ask them. I said, "Well, how many of you have a best friend?" And of course, everybody raises their hand. And I said, "Well, if your best friend wanted to borrow, was hungry, would you give him half of your peanut butter and jelly sandwich?" And they say, of course, they raise their hand. And then I'll ask, if your best friend wanted half your peanut butter jelly sandwich and hadn't had a shower in a week, would they still be your best friend? And they say, yes. Then I say, okay, what if they didn't have a shower in 2 weeks? And then they make funny faces, but they still say, yeah. Then I say, what if they didn't have a shower for a month? And they're all making faces and going, ew. But they all eventually say, yeah. And I said, well, what we do is, and madam, is we give people a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and we help them because they're someone's best friend. And so that's what we do. And they all kind of get it. One of the misconceptions about what Manna does is that we only deal with homeless. And we do deal with quite a few homeless. But we deal with people in day in and day out, everyday life. But why do we do that? You see, so many times a person who, especially the homeless, we look past them and we see someone who we really don't want to be close to for some whatever reason. Maybe we think we're going to catch homelessness or something or whatever, but we look past them and we forget that person is someone's best friend. That someone is someone's son or daughter, someone's mom and dad. So that's why we do what we do. It's because we're all children of God. Even that person standing on the street corner holding a sign is someone's son or daughter, brother or sister, mom and dad. And we treat people like we want them to treat our relatives and give them a hand, because that's what God commands.